Okay, it is now 7:30. I am calling the June 11th Town Council meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
Councilor Blanks.
Present.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Cortez.
Here.
Councilor Fay.
Here.
Councilor McGinnis.
Present.
Councilor Poland.
Here.
Councilor Walters.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Winograd.
Here.
Councilor Zdanowitz.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff, and we'll begin with the public forum. There's nobody that's signed up to speak. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak to anything that's on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will go to consent calendar. Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that items 5A, 5B, and 7E be placed on the consent calendar.
Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, the items are placed on consent. Mr. Winograd.
I move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We go to number 7, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you. I move to adopt a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement with CSEA SEIU Local 2001 Professional and Management Unit for the period July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And we are very pleased to present two tentative agreements for your approval this evening. You'll vote on each separately, but the provisions of both agreements are very, very similar. So if it's okay with you, I'll talk through both jointly, and then you would vote separately for each one. So the two contracts we're voting on this evening are for our professional management unit, which represents our engineering division, our building division, planning division, finance division, assessment, library, tax office, leisure and social services, and the second unit is our building maintenance unit, which is responsible for all of the maintenance of all town facilities. Both groups are part of the CSEA bargaining unit, which covers a total of 6 bargaining units within the town. The council, as you may recall, recently ratified contracts for our grounds maintenance unit, our clerical unit, and our supervisors unit over the last several months, and those are the other 3 contracts covered under CSEA. And the terms of the agreements before you this evening are very similar to the agreements that we had presented to the council a few months ago. And I will start off with a overview of the general wage increases for both of these bargaining units that you're approving, or you would approve tonight, and the wage settlements for both the professional management and the building maintenance are identical. So the contract does go retroactive to July 1st of 21 and will run through June 30th of 2025. So we will go back 3 years and forward for 1 more fiscal year. And these contracts call for general wage increases of 2.5% in each of the first 2 years, and then 3% in each of the last 2 years. And there would also be a $2,000 lump sum payment for any individual who is on the top step in either one of those bargaining units. When we did in closed session, back when we were talking with the grounds maintenance unit and the clerical unit, we did bring in Ken Weinstock, who is our lead negotiator, outside counsel. And if you recall in those sessions, Ken did talk to us about the fact that most settlements around the state from a municipal standpoint are coming in at around that 3% range as a starting point. So we do feel generally, positive about these settlements. It's something, certainly something that we needed to do from a wage perspective. We have talked about in the past our struggle with hiring employees in all of these areas, and our wage contract, our wage schedule had been behind some of our peers around the state. So this settlement will get us back to where we need to be from a competitive standpoint and provide us the ability to recruit and ultimately retain key employees in each of these areas. In addition, some of the other changes within these contracts, I'll talk about the building maintenance one specifically. We did increase the night differential pay for our building maintenance from 60 cents an hour to 80 cents an hour. In comparison, the custodians on the school side have a slightly higher night differential. They are in the $1 to $1.15 per hour differential, so we're a little bit below that one. We also increased the longevity bonus to $375 for a year for employees in the 5 to 8 year range, $500 for folks that are in the 9 to 14 year range, and $650 a year for folks that are in the 15+ year range. And then in addition, we did increase back to our professional management, we did increase our stipend for Sunday shifts for full-time librarians from $30 a shift up to $100 a shift, and we're hopeful that that will help us recruit or lure some of our full-time librarians to taking on those Sunday shifts. The health insurance changes for both units are also identical. Effective upon ratification, we will increase their premium contribution from 19% of the premium to 19.5%. And the payroll cap will go from 4.25% to 4.75%. Effective July 1st of '24, the 19.5% premium contribution goes to 20%, and the payroll cap goes to 5.25%. And then the payroll cap for all new hires will increase to 6.25%. The cost impact of this proposal is a 17.73% increase in employee contributions for current employees, a 47% increase in employee contributions for new hires choosing family coverage, and a 34% increase in contributions for new hires choosing employee +1 coverage. One other change would allow members of both units to sell up to 5 unused vacation days a year, which, certainly we get to the end of each fiscal year, this fiscal year included, where folks have not used their vacation days as we head into the end of June, and we'll lose a good portion of our staff to taking their unused vacation time. So this will allow us a little bit of flexibility in keeping ourselves fully staffed as we finish up the fiscal year. So, I do appreciate, this contract and hope that the council will see it that way as well. I'm very grateful to the hard work that we see out of both of these bargaining units. The professional management, as I said, represent most of our staff that are here in Town Hall, as well as out in our libraries, Westmore Park, and some of our leisure services facilities. I'm grateful for their hard work day in and day out, and grateful for the pride that they take in the jobs that they do every day to serve our community. They're proud to work here. They're proud to serve the residents here in West Hartford. So I'm very pleased with this contract, and happy to answer any questions that the council may have prior to you voting on this contract. So through you, Madam Mayor, I will pause there and turn it back to you for questions and comments.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Are there questions? Ms. McGinnis.
I just had one question through you, Mayor. I just had one question about the vacation days. Are they allowed now to carry over any days, or do they have to, up until this point, they had to use them or lose them?
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor McGinnis. So they are allowed to carry over a certain number of days, but there's a cap in terms of the number of days they can carry over. So this would allow them, if they were over that cap, to sell 5. But we do get into a situation, as I said, right now we just have folks just using up their days because they're going to lose them if they're at that cap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. McGinnis. Are there other questions? So just from a fiscal and budget impact, we do include, want to just describe how we do that? We have a contingency and.
So we did, if you recall, thank you, Madam Mayor, for the question. And during this year's budget, you will recall that we set aside a $1.5 million contingency fund, contingency account to fund all of our retroactive wages. With this settlement, we also have our public safety dispatchers who are very close to having a settlement, as well as our police officers as well. So we, although our police officers, we've accounted for their first year wage in the budget, so I'm remiss in stating that. So, but yes, for all of these, as well as our public safety dispatchers, our contingency account will cover the retroactive, and we did budget the 3% moving into the next fiscal year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions, comments? Okay, with that, we will go to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion. Are you opposed?
Yes.
Okay, so, Mr. Davidoff, did you get that? 8 to
I've got
1.
eight affirmative, 1 negative.
Thank you. And then a B would be, I'm just going to read, Mr. Winograd, you read it, and we'll do a separate vote for that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Move to adopt a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement with CSEA, SEIU Local 2001, Building Maintenance Unit for the period July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2025.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. We already heard the discussion. Is there any other questions on this? Ms. Fay, yep.
Yes, thank you. I know these go back and they're retro. The reason I have a hard time getting TS on this one is because I know that we have, whenever these are presented, it's always this is our best approach and the best that we can possibly do. And I typically vote yes, because I believe people deserve to have their compensation and things on time, and they should have a contract because they are part of a union. But I just wish that we had done more with the employee benefits. That's the part that's concerning to me, even though we're trying to move the dial so that there's more of a employee contribution. I know we have a lot to catch up, but it seems like it's very, very minimal and nominal. And if we could move the lever on any of these with that, I think in principle, I'm okay with the raises. And I think some of the seniority one lump sum payments are a little bit rich too. So that I just wanted to be clear about, because I didn't speak earlier about what my concerns are. So thank you for that.
Mr. Levitt, I don't know if you have any input on the healthcare component or even the pension.
So through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Fay's statements, and you know, when we sit down and negotiate a contract, we go in with a big list. They come in with a big list, and to your point, you're spot on. Normally, what will happen is a lot of those things will fall off to the side, and then we'll get to the wages and the really the healthcare changes and the pension changes. We have made significant strides with our pension plan in the past, so that was not a focus area for us because of the significant changes that we have made in the past, particularly with all of our new employees being in our new hybrid plan, which cut our liability, pension liability in half. And the healthcare changes were, so we're now in the state partnership plan. So our plan design is fixed. So we're not able to, unless we were to leave the state partnership plan, we're not able to, we used to come with negotiating copay changes and deductible changes as part of the contribution changes. Now we're in this plan, which has brought us some savings in the past. And even this year, we had a very low increase with the Connecticut State Partnership Plan, but we don't have that ability to negotiate that plan design. So that's one of the reasons why normally, to your point, you'd see contribution increases, which you're seeing with this contract, but we're not seeing the benefit changes to that plan because we don't have control over it.
And just to follow up, Mr. Ledwith, how does this contribution level compare to other municipalities that we compete with for employees?
So it is, it's something that we just, it's something we do continuously need to increase. I will say that, and that's what this is. Most plans around the state are around 20%, 21%. But you are starting to see those go up more. Our Board of Education plans are right in that range as well. But I will say, we focus on it every single contract that we have, and we just continue to, we'll always have to increase it.
But one of the reasons that, from my memory of negotiations, one of the reasons that we fell a little behind on the healthcare component was we were pushing so hard on the pension side to have that be a priority to decrease our accrued liability. So that was a real priority at that point.
It was an exchange, back at that last contract in terms of those changes that we needed to make from a pension standpoint. So that was a significant, as we all know, and we're finally in a place where our pension plan is in a great place, and part of it is because of the changes that our employees have agreed to in past negotiations.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Anything further? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sorry, no.
Okay. 8 and 1 again, Mr. Davidoff. Okay. We will continue with resolution, C resolution. Thank you, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the Corporation Counsel to settle pending litigation. Carol Turner versus Town of West Hartford, docket number HHD CV 22-615-4914.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Dodge, do we have to go into executive session, and can we do the 2 remaining resolutions prior to going into executive session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do require an executive session for this, and we'll also require an executive session for one other item. So my suggestion on this item, Madam Mayor, would be to simply pass over it temporarily, and then we can revisit it at the end of the meeting and go into executive session and take
Do we
action
have to
afterwards.
withdraw the motion? Or?
The motion can remain on the table
Okay.
until we revisit the item.
Okay. Thank you. Letter D, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt the resolution appropriating capital non-recurring expense funds to purchase an aerator at the Rockledge Golf Club.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This resolution will appropriate $38,900 of capital non-recurring expense funds to purchase an aerator machine at Rockledge Golf Course. We did talk about this in our Finance and Administration Committee meeting most recently. Right now, we do have an aerator machine. It is, if anyone's seen an aerator machine at a local golf course, you'll usually see someone behind the aerator machine pushing it along the green, and it punches holes, and we'll lay sand, and it's how we treat our greens and keep them healthy. Ours current aerator was kind of jury-rigged to a tractor, so it wasn't something that we had, control over as we were moving around the green. It was done via the tractor, and not very efficient. And most times, at least twice a year, we would be borrowing an aerator machine from a local neighboring golf course to help us treat our greens. So this will allow our superintendent to implement a high-quality aerator process to our greens moving forward. We should have one. This will allow him to purchase the push-behind aerator machine, and will allow us to, we generally treat each of our greens twice a year, once in the beginning of the season, once at the end. However, depending on the weather throughout the golf season, we may have to treat greens periodically throughout the season as well. So this will allow our staff at Rockledge and Buena Vista to treat our greens and keep them at the quality that our residents and visitors expect and appreciate. It's as we've discussed, a outstanding, well-maintained public golf course, one of the best in the state. So through you, Madam Mayor, I'll pause there, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Lind. With other questions about this item? It has been discussed, so. Okay. All right. Mr. Cortez?
Through you, Madam Mayor, just quick question, clarification. So Rockledge and Buena Vista gets to use so we got one for the two?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez. Anybody else? Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we will go to the town manager report. I think that was on consent. Thank you.
Thank you. I will begin the town manager's report with some upcoming council business and meetings. We have our Human and Community Services Committee meeting on Monday, June 17th at 6 p.m., followed by a Community Planning and Economic Development Committee the following morning at 8 a.m., June 18th. Both those meetings will be virtual. Our next council meeting is on June 25th here in council chambers at 7:30 p.m. We will have a public hearing that evening at 7:20 p.m. That's a resolution approving programs eligible for the Neighborhood Assistance Act tax credit program. So that's something, it's a public hearing we have once a year right around this time of year, and it should be a brief public hearing. Excuse me. In terms of reports on other things happening townwide, I do want to talk a little bit about Celebrate. So I want to express my profound gratitude and appreciation to everyone involved in planning and executing this past weekend's highly successful Celebrate West Hartford event. The weather could not have been more perfect as we warmly welcome tens of thousands of residents and visitors who strolled the grounds of Town Hall. This remarkable event would not have been possible without the commitment and dedication of many employees and volunteers who worked tirelessly in the lead up and spend their entire weekend on site ensuring a seamless experience for everyone. Very special thanks to Linda Geisler, Rebecca Holmes, Helen Rubino Turco, and our entire Leisure Services staff for their exceptional efforts in coordinating this memorable event. I also extend my gratitude to our police and fire departments for their visible presence throughout the weekend, ensuring a safe environment for all. Our public works and facilities, plant facility staff for their invaluable support, community development staff, risk management, public relations, tax office, fire marshal's office, health district, and information technology for all of their behind-the-scenes work that made this event a success. We are grateful to all volunteers who made this event possible, the Celebrate West Hartford Committee, the Road Race Committee, the Community Emergency Response Team, and event volunteers. And a very special thanks to Paul Turco, who was here all week from day one, directing the setup of tents and amusements. Their time and commitment to our signature event are deeply appreciated. Due to the Juneteenth holiday, Town Hall, public libraries, community centers, and senior centers are closed on the federal holiday, Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. The collection of trash, recyclable items, and bulky and metal waste remains on schedule. Special thanks to Adrienne Billings-Smith and her committee for organizing the 4th annual Juneteenth community celebration on Saturday, June 15th, from 12 to 4 p.m. at our town hall right here. The event is free and open to all and will feature inspirational messages, music, vendors, art, and activities for all ages. I want to talk briefly about a grant we received from DEEP, Governor Ned Lamont, and Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Commissioner Katie Dykes announced on June 3rd the release of a series of grants totaling $10 million that will support the planning, building, expansion, and improvement of 45 multi-use trails located in towns and cities throughout Connecticut. West Hartford's multi-use trail connectivity comprehensive planning study will receive a $100,000 grant to fund that study. The grants are being awarded through Connecticut Recreational Trails Grant Program and administered by DEEP. The State Bond Commission approved funds to support the grants at its October 2023 meeting. we are grateful to West Hartford's delegation for advocating for this funding on our behalf. West Hartford Leisure Services is proud to partner with DEEP Fisheries Division, Connecticut Aquatic Resources Education to offer a Learn to Fish with Care event at Beecham Park Pond on Tuesday, June 25th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Join expert fishing coaches and learn how to fish safely, legally, and successfully. The CARE program supplies all bait, tackle, and instruction free of charge. Registration is required on our website. Space is limited. West Hartford's Office of Equity Advancement, in partnership with Social Services, is excited to announce the launch of a significant initiative to foster inclusivity and understanding within our community. As part of our commitment to creating a supportive environment for all individuals, we are conducting a LGBTQ and community needs assessment survey for West Hartford residents. The survey aims to comprehensively understand and document the specific needs, challenges, and aspirations of West Hartford's LGBTQIA community. And that summarizes my manager's report this evening. I will happy to answer any questions that the council had on these events or any other things happening around town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. I didn't know if you wanted to comment on what we have on our...
Yes, so we have our, as folks know, we are working hard on our Vision Zero initiative, and as part of that process, part of our community outreach process, we did order several thousand of these reflective armbands that we were handing out at Celebrate this past weekend. And this will allow folks, all residents of all ages, to wear these reflective bands while they're walking through town, biking through town, and certainly part of our safety initiative. Not sure it goes around our heads, but it could, maybe for some, be a headband, but mostly an armband or a leg band. So, and hope to see a lot of these around town in the early morning hours and in the dusk hours as well.
Thank you very much. I do hope they make them an extra small. Mr. Dodge, we know we have an executive session. Is there anything else?
No, Madam Mayor, we will require 2 executive sessions this evening. The first will be on the resolution that we passed over temporarily, authorizing my office to settle pending litigation on Turner v. Town of West Hartford. In addition to that, Madam Mayor, and coming out of that executive session, I do expect that you will hopefully be taking action to approve that resolution authorizing the settlement. Madam Mayor, following that discussion, I will also ask you to be adding an item to the agenda for an update on the estate of Romeo Pierre Luis et al. V. the Town of West Hartford and the West Hartford Board of Education. I do not anticipate that we will be taking any action when we come out of that executive session. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Are there questions for Corporation Counsel? Okay. Then we will go to announcements. I want to first congratulate our new graduates from Hall and Conard. And I know that Northwest and Kingswood Oxford have also had celebrated graduations, but we're so proud, and it was a beautiful, beautiful evening, has more often been the case, and we're excited to see where our graduates go next and what they do with their lives. So good luck and congratulations to all those families. I also want to give a big thank you to Celebrate. It is a remarkable all-year effort to make this event happen, and it is one of the best events in our region for sure. And I want to give a special shout out to Linda Geisler as well, Helen, and of course Rebecca, and Police, Fire, Public Works, and all of the staff that support this really important, wonderful and fun event. And I get comments all the time, and so many people had a really fabulous time. Nora McHugh was named Teacher of the Year. I don't know if you saw this. Congratulations. Conard High School science teacher was selected to be Teacher of the Year by her colleagues, and they noted that Nora inspires students to engage in the wonders of science through dynamic and hands-on activities that hone skills in scientific thinking. Nora has been a chemistry and anatomy physiology teacher with West Hartford Public Schools since 2010 and has been teaching AP chemistry at Conard this past year after spending 11 years teaching at Hall. And if anyone has taken AP chemistry, it is a lot of fun. It's a challenging class for sure. Nathaniel Goldschmidt, honored as environmental champion, is a Hall High School attends Hall High School and was among 5 chosen to be honored with this award by Aquarian Water Company. Nathaniel is an Eagle Scout and Hall's Environmental Club president. Outside of school, he organized Environmental Night and led a project to build seating in Westmore Park to increase accessibility and public engagement in the park's conservation efforts. Nathaniel is also working on Town Sustainability Commission, where he is part of the Waste Working Group. And we know they've been very busy. Elizabeth Johnson wins eSmart Student Contest. This is the 19th annual contest and sponsored by Energize Connecticut. Elizabeth is a 3rd grader at Bugby Elementary School. She won first place for her limericks, which provided tips on saving energy at home and at school. More than 600 students throughout Connecticut submitted projects for consideration. So congratulations to Elizabeth. We're very proud. Representative Jillian Gilchrist receives the Children's Champion Award for legislation expanding Medicaid coverage for diapers for young children. She was co-chair of the Council on Medicare Medical Assistance Program Oversight and is now the Human Services Committee co-chair. And that has made a big difference in a lot of families. Pride 55 Plus Party. Elmwood Senior Center will host this party, Pride Plus 55, on Thursday, June 13th from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. The event features entertainment by Queens Mia and Kenya and Ivana, and a rainbow of refreshments will be served. Registration is required, so please call Elmwood Senior Center. June 15th will be as celebrated as Mr. Ledwith shared. This will take place 12 to 4, and one other thing to add is that the children's ceremony, there will be a hidden history ceremony at the library's community room at 10:30 a.m., and children's author Sharnae Gordon will lead a Juneteenth story time at 1 p.m. for children age 3 to 6. Pride Rally will take place on June 22nd at 10:30 a.m. at the steps of Town Hall. The event features the voices of youth, town delegation, a special guest, Miss Connecticut Shavonna Clark, the first openly LGBTQ Miss USA title holder. The rally showcases efforts West Hartford and the state of Connecticut have taken to protect and embrace the LGBTQ community. And then the Pride Festival will begin, and there will be 6 hours of entertainment. Incredible talent by Miss Bonnie Pettit will also serve as host, and crowd favorite Sister Funk returns. Newcomers, the Kentucky Gentlemen, will be on the stage, and the festival wraps up at 6 p.m. with a tea dance. The festival is free to attend, and for more information, please visit their website, West Hartford Pride, and if Barry wants to add anything.
I think that was pretty comprehensive, and we have been asked at Pride to hand out these little armbands, so
Terrific.
You'll find them there as well.
Great. Awesome. All right. A rock and roll Playhouse concert for kids will also take place on June 22nd at 12 p.m. This is a free event and has kids' activities, a friendship bracelet, making station treats, and more. Kids are encouraged to come dressed like Taylor, too. This is Taylor Swift. Sorry, I didn't say that. Featuring Taylor Swift. And I heard that maybe she might be single. I don't know. Anyway, Camp Blueback. Join us every Tuesday from June 15th through August 13th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Webster Walk at Blueback Square for weekly kids events. There will be face painting, crafts, and more. The event is free to attend. Tony Stone runs through June 16th. This is an original play inspired by the book Curveball. It is being performed at Playhouse on Park. A sensational theater event knocks it out of the park. with a high-intensity glimpse of the world of the first women to go to pro in baseball Negro Leagues. The play runs through June 16th. For more information, visit Playhouse on Park's website. Join other professionals 21 through 35 on June 13th for a special performance. Event features pre-show networking reception, beer, wine, and appetizers, and also the show begins at 7:30, and tickets are $25 for that group, and all seats are reserved. So please contact the website for more information and tickets. The prom will be performed. This is Playhouse on Park, July 10th through August 18th. This is a Connecticut premiere, and this is a troupe of hilarious, self-absorbed, fading Broadway stars shakes up a small Indiana town as they rally behind a teen who wants to go to the prom with her girlfriend. Tickets are now on sale, and for more information, contact the Playhouse on Park. Are there any more announcements? Mr. Cortez and then Mr. Zanowitz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So first of all, the West Hartford United Methodist Church would love to thank everyone who participated in the diaper drive. There was quite a few diapers that I've seen be brought to the town hall. And then also starting June through Labor Day, we go back to the food drive. Again, these are the most crucial months because we're not thinking, the need for food around this time of year. There's kids at home that are not going to school, that are not getting certain meals. So just keep that in mind, like summer snacks, things like that. So it goes right to you could drop it off right in the drop box right in front of the church, and we bring it right over here.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez, and you raise such a good point. Now is one of the most critical times for our food pantry. So whether it's Methodist Church or whether it's right in Town Hall for a food pantry, there is a very, very big need for food. I know Rotary did a huge drop-off, but that food will be used fairly quickly. So, Mr. Zdanowitz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to congratulate some sporting events that happened over the last few weeks. Hall boys won the Double L state championship in track and field, and the girls for Hall came runner-up in Class L, and the Conard girls came runner-up in Class Double L too. So it was kind of nice to see that. And then Hall actually participated in New England's. I think Conard is waiting for nationals because they didn't go. I'm sure they would have had a lot of champions there. But Hall came in second place in New England in the 4x8 100, the girls, and the boys actually won, came in first place in New England's for the 4x8. And the, let's see, we have Liam Wright, who's pole vaulter. He won the New England championships for Hall. And then the 4x200 girls came in second place in New England's. And the shot put for girls came in second as well. Boys came in third in javelin. So it was a big New England event up at the University of New Haven, and weather was great. And just congratulations to all those athletes.
It's really, really impressive showing for our Hall and Conard track and field and our stars. Any last names, Zdanowitz?
Maybe I might be there.
Congratulations. That's great. I really, year after year after year, and sometimes we take it for granted, and thank you so much for sharing that. Who else had an announcement over here? Anybody? All right. Terrific. All right, so we now have no more announcements, so I want to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the settle pending litigation, Carolyn Turner versus Town of West Hartford, and docket number HHDCB 226154914. And should I say the other reason as well, or should we come back in and then?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, we'll make that motion separately, but the motion is to go into executive session. I'd also like to invite Attorney Tom Gerard and Attorney Ashley Hoyt from the law firm Howden Ludorf, who are defending the town in this matter, to join us.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now going into executive session.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we just, oh, Rick has them. I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. So the motion before you is a resolution approving a settlement in the pending litigation that we just discussed in executive session for the benefit of the public. Madam Mayor, this is a sidewalk defect case in which the plaintiff alleges that she was injured due to the town's negligence in 2020. This resolution authorizes my office to settle the case in the amount of $65,000, and I recommend adoption. Before you vote, however, Madam Mayor, I would just like to provide my usual caveat that a settlement in a case like this does not in any way represent an admission of fault or liability by the town. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Okay, Mr. Winograd, would you like to make the motion?
I think that we already did.
Oh, okay, right, we did make the motion. And second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now going to make a motion to go into, I'll make the motion to go into executive.
Mayor.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I apologize, Madam Mayor. The first motion, because this item wasn't on the agenda, is a motion to open the agenda to add a discussion of the litigation involving Romeo Pierre Luis.
Okay, Mr. Winograd, we want to make the motion?
So moved would be.
So moved, yeah, exactly.
Thank
So
you.
moved.
Okay, motion's been made and
know.
seconded. Is there any,
Second.
is there any discussion? Okay, so this is adding the item onto
is
the
adding the
agenda.
item,
Any, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And now,
Now, Madam Mayor, I would ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy concerning a pending claim in litigation, to wit, the estate of Romeo Pierre Luis et al. Versus the town of West Hartford and the Board of Education.
okay, motion as stated by Corporation Counsel. Want a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going into executive session.
And Madam Mayor, I would like to once again invite our defense counsel from Howden Ludorf, Attorney Tom Gerard, and Attorney Ashley Hoyt to join us in the executive session.
Thank you. And we will not be coming back out, so can we make a motion?
We will come back out to
to
adjourn,
adjourn.
but we will not be taking action after the executive session.
Thank you.